And the realization that I came to was I am not scared of committing. I'm just so afraid of failing something that I commit to that I just won't commit at all in the first place.
It's that,
and that includes like my own personal growth. That's why I don't go to the gym. I know I have to. Yeah. Like, listen, we've all had traumas. We all had issues. My solution was eating. I quite literally stuffed my feelings. Yeah. And I've spent my life and my work pushing myself past my like physical limit. Right? Because look at me. I'm going to be so real right now. Fuck, I haven't said this on the internet ever. I'm going to tell you right now, look at me. Look me up and down. Look at me. Look at my body. Look at my face. Would you believe that I'm close to 500 pounds?
No. Never.
I am like 470 something.
Honestly, don't look good at all.
Welcome back to another episode of Two for an Pen. My name is David. I am joined today by Paola Guanche. We're actually meeting for the first time right now.
True.
It's happening right now. It happened like 30 seconds ago. Thanks for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. To be honest, I didn't think you'd want to be on the show. Low key, I thought I wasn't big enough. I was like, yo, you're like really important and shit.
No. I don't ever perceive me like that. I'm just like you. You're just like me. We're both people.
I don't know, dude. I remember I saw you on TV when I was a kid. Like, really? Yeah, I vividly remember seeing you in that thing. Yeah. So I don't know. Listen, I thought it could be fun just to like chop it up. I feel like people want to know more about you. I want to know more about you. So talk to me about, like you, like what's your story? Because you're really busy and really accomplished.
No, I come from a family of musicians. Yeah. It's all I know. It's all I've known my whole entire life. I've been singing since I was literally like 2 years old. Like I would grab anything that would look like a microphone and I would just start singing. And my mom obviously was like, yeah. My dad was like, like my dad is a pianist, my mom is a singer. Like everybody was kind of like, okay, this is gonna go like that way, I guess. And I didn't have like the regular childhood.
Shit, it's going like that.
Yeah,
it's
like
gonna be that.
I literally grew up in nightclubs, like sleeping on tables and drag queens like surrounding me, like crazy
what the
shit.
Fuck?
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
Cigarettes everywhere. Like
born and raised here.
I was born in Mexico. My family's Cuban. But I've been living in Miami since I was like 4.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's literally how I grew up. Like nightclubs, like going out, a whole bunch of grown people around me. Like,
of course.
So a lot of people always would say like I'm an old soul, like I'm very mature. I just grew up around.
That's the best way.
Literally like older people all the time. And I mean, I'm not complaining. Like it was a fun, interesting childhood.
Old people are the shit, low key.
Honestly.
They really are. Young people kind of suck.
Sometimes they're shitty, but sometimes
they're, fair, of course. But like, dude, young people.
Yeah. No, this generation is tricky.
It's kind of wag a little bit. It's kind of difficult to maneuver.
Yeah, it's especially like in Miami, and especially when you're trying to like make a living, like make a life out of like your career. And now it's a little bit easier because everybody's like into music or like into,
I think it's like, a little more like
creation.
Destigmatized a little bit. Yeah. But like what, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
Very difficult.
It's tough. No, and it's tough, especially with like content creating, like music or like film. It's really tough. Like it's a tough industry, and
it's I think even like though Miami's like a really really young city, like we're really old school here. Yeah. Until recently, like it's very like ad agencies and like
that's true.
And old dudes in suits.
I mean, there's always gonna be stuff like that. Like there's always gonna be,
of course,
the old school way of doing things, which is fine. But I am glad that things are changing a little bit, making it easier for.
Because it's always been that or like really really underfunded underground shit like in Wynwood, and now it's finally and now, kind of
and even now Wynwood is like. It's changing, and part of it is like not in a good way because Wynwood used to be like a great spot for like super like really art
cool like community, and like now it's kind of a little bit like touristy and kind of being a little bit gentrified a little bit. But I don't know. Talk to me about because I don't come from artists. I come from creative people that just didn't figure out how to monetize and like just didn't have that life and that solution. So. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm starting that and opening that up in my family, and it's really, really great, but it's also very difficult to not have that support sometimes. So the pressure of being able to perform, and I'm sure you have that too, right? Because you also have the pressure of like, you gotta step up to the plate.
120%. Yeah, I was having that conversation yesterday, actually. It's really interesting because, and I admire so much what you do because especially like when you don't come from people that know how to like push you in that direction, and you have to figure it out.
Like I have nobody that I can ask for advice or anything.
It's difficult, and I'm so blessed because in my family, like I don't come home to a family of like doctors, which is obviously beautiful as well. But like I'm saying for my case, like I don't come home to like a family that's not supportive. I don't come home to a family that doesn't know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, I'm so blessed in that sense. And like, I'm managed by my family as well. Like, you know, everything is in the family. And that's such a blessing to me because any question I have, any doubt or like anything that I want to explore, I can literally just tell my mom, like, help me with this, like vocally, or my dad, like on the piano. So it's really beautiful. But at the same time, it is a lot of pressure because it's like my aunt is literally currently on tour right now. It's like,
what the fuck, really?
Nominated for a Grammy, and like, you know, it's pressure that you have.
That's a Monday, Thanksgiving
Monday,
weekend.
Yeah. Like, oh, my aunt is nominated for another Grammy.
Got an email from the Grammy,
and I'm like, it's so proud. Like, I feel so proud, but at the same time, it's like shit. Like,
you gotta perform. You gotta step
like
up.
I have to be there one day. Like I want to be, and God willing, like I will be, and that's like what I'm working on right now. I'm working on my first EP. Like, it's crazy. Like a lot of shit is happening, and it's that's like awesome. You sit down and you're like, like this is actually happening.
It's really
like,
fucking. I look at Elian.
Yes.
That's
oh my God.
Fucking crazy. He's
so
killing
proud.
it.
It's amazing.
He's
like
killing
and it's that's so inspiring to me too because it's like I went to high school with him and Trey too. Trey's so amazing and so talented.
They're crazy talented.
And the best part of these people is their personality. Like they're just so down
who they
to
are
earth.
when they're not like working.
You know, I literally laugh with Trey so much.
Like, they're all hilarious.
He's one of those people that I just
his laugh is the most contagious thing on the planet.
He's gonna watch this and gonna be like, this girl when he laughs, like his jaw. I'm not even gonna get into it, but yeah, it's inspiring. You know, Elian is so talented too, and it's like you see it right in front of you. Like I went to high school with these people too, and it's like you just don't stop working. You don't stop.
It's crazy, dude.
And that's literally it's consistency and passion, and obviously like the talent and just knowing what to do, like having the tools and the right people to push you. Because that's the other part. Like
it's tough though, dude, because we don't get to disconnect.
Yeah,
we really don't. Like we don't get to clock out.
Exactly. That's the other part. Like people don't realize that, and I get so upset sometimes. Like seeing videos of like people like insulting an artist, like let's say like paparazzi, like oh they were so rude. Like do people not understand? Like
you have a patience, you have a
human.
limit. Yeah.
Like before you're an artist, you're human. Yeah. Like that's number one. That's why like I spent so many years like after I won The Voice, I spent so many years like I did not want to like. I wanted to finish middle school as a regular person. I wanted to finish high school as a regular person.
You wanted to be a kid.
I wanted to be a teenager. I wanted to experience. I wanted to fuck up. Like I wanted to go through that so that when I get to this point where I'm at, where like I'm ready and like, I'm mental and still mistakes. Like you never stop learning and you never stop like making mistakes. But I wanted to experience and I wanted to like, you know, love and have friends and all that and do it knowing that it's for myself. It's not because of who I am.
Not to put it into music or not to.
Exactly. Yeah. And also like as an artist, like that's where your music comes from, your experiences, your heartbreak, your loss, your everything. And it's like, I needed to go through that because I was really young and I didn't want to be sucked up into something that I wouldn't be able to handle. And then later on have a fucking mental breakdown.
That's really fucking admirable because I feel like I feel like low key, like the fact that you had your family to back you up.
Well, that was the tough part. It was I was in such like a hot moment. Like, you know, when you win and interviews and traveling and sing here and I sang the national anthem for the Steelers and go here and sing this and interview and crazy. Mm-hmm. And I was 11 and I remember walking into my middle school and they were like, we're very proud of you, but you're failing this, and that class. And I was like, shit. So then I was like, no. Like, you know what? I really need to calm down. I spent most of my 7th grade year traveling, like, you know, interviews and this and that. And I was like, no, I need to just relax. And it was hard because at first it was like, no, but you have this. And it's like, but I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do this. And it was never an issue of like, I don't want to do music. None of that. But I got to a point where I was so stressed. And I was just like, I need to take a breather. And I went through so much shit behind doors, like personally and like legally with like a whole bunch of shit.
Of course.
That I was just like, I can't.
You can't add on to that.
I need to just relax because it was too much. Like I felt like I was growing up at such like a very fast pace.
I feel like that's a low key, like that's a big thing with like kids nowadays. That shocks me, dude. 15-year-olds with like they're 25.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Everybody has lost that. Like
kids don't do awkward phases anymore.
No. Like I had to go
and
through
low key,
the ugliest.
I loved that.
No, yeah.
Like it was super embarrassing when you're doing it.
Like
but
now
like
you look back and you're like,
I'm like, dude, I had like
it's
the worst sense of fashion. I was like, my sister used to wear like scrunchies that were like bright ass colors.
the makeup era was just like the really boxed eyebrows. And the whole, clothing wise, it was honestly, these kids need to go through that.
These kids don't have that.
I have 2 little brothers, and I'm like, y'all need to go through all of that.
You don't know. Because, like, listen, yes, it is embarrassing. Yes, it is difficult for us to, because at the same time, we're like the other side of that, like, we get emotionally fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, middle school for us was rough as fuck.
I don't even want to remember that.
That was difficult.
So rough,
that was like difficult real life shit that like scars you and traumatizes you.
Oh, I know. I went through it. Like, I remember I came back to that.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine that. Like, you had so many eyes on you and so much.
Exactly. Like, and so many people like, oh my God, like, no, don't talk to me now.
We didn't talk 7 months ago.
I was like, we didn't. And my friends that I went to middle school with, like, they can vouch for that 100%. Like, my bestest friend in the whole world is the person, like, I've known her since middle school. We've been friends for 10 years. And she can tell you, like, no, she never, like, became, not that I didn't become friends with anybody after that, but I never allowed anybody to, like, treat me differently or befriend me because of what I accomplished. Never. Like, I was like, no, you didn't talk to me then. Why are you going to talk to me now?
Yeah.
And it was, like, those were the people that would just go in for that. And you can tell, like, the energy. I'm very energy driven. I've always been like that. I've always felt energies very heavily. So I always would know, like, when somebody would try to, you know, come at me or befriend me just to have something in return. Like, and I hated that. I'd be like, no. And even then in high school, I would go in high school and, you know, people would like, oh my God, are you this person? It's like,
the internet, I think it's because we didn't grow up with the internet.
Yeah.
Lucky, like, social media was not a thing for us.
And every, you know, I was on TV. Like, it was, you know, people saw me.
Yeah, of course.
And I have a friend actually. And he always says, like, the first time I met you, like, well, not the first time he met me, but the first time he saw me, he was like, the first time I saw you, like, the first thing I noticed was, like, you roll your eyes. I'm like, what do you mean, like, I roll my eyes? And he's like, yeah, like, whenever somebody's talking to you and you, like, you're annoyed, like, you turn around and you roll your eyes. And I'm like, okay. You know, it's just, like, mentally you're just so clocked out that, like, it's just really irritating when you walk into a space and you just want to be calm and, like, a normal person, and there's somebody like, oh my God, are you that person? Yeah, and I'm used to it, and you have to be used to it. And I'm not saying I don't love, like, the people who, like, support me, all of that. Like, it's not that, but it's like,
you're a person.
You need to, like, I just wish people knew, like, when to and when not to. Like, read the room.
Yeah, read the room. You get
me? Because it's like, when people are on top of you just asking you, like, how was this? Like, oh my God, how was meeting this person? How, like, it's really irritating because it's like, I'm a human. I don't want to talk about this, like, 24/7. Like, it's cool if you ask me, that's fine. Like, obviously, like, curiosity, like, cool.
Of course.
But it's like, there's a level, there's a balance.
I feel like that's a thing now, and I think it's in part a big thing with, like, social media people and influencers and YouTubers, but, like, people really, really think they have, like, a one-on-one relationship. Like, they take ownership of this person.
Yes.
And that's really fucking bad. That's really toxic.
It's horrible. It's horrible because, and I understand it so well because I actually took a class on this, like, not that long ago, which is very interesting because it's also on the artist. Like, it depends on how much you post, how much you let people see.
How verbal and how, like, how much you show up. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's actually really important because the more the person feels like they know you, the more connected, the more they're going to support you. Yeah. Like, when people feel like they know you, they'll be there.
They fuck with you. Yeah, they really do.
And it's good, but it's also scary because it's like people really think they know you and they don't. You know, they can portray you as the best person on the planet and you might be the worst. Or they can portray you as a really bad person.
They assume they know everything about you.
And you're actually really nice. Yeah, and it's like, it's all about, like, how you come off.
Perception.
And that was my biggest, like, challenge too in high school. Like, people would comment a lot about me, like, oh my gosh, you're such a bitch, or like this and that. I'd just be like, no, I just don't talk to you. Like, you literally don't know me.
You
like,
don't know me.
And I never cared because I'm so used to that. I don't know if it's like my face or just like whatever. Like, I always look mad or tired. I don't know what it is, but I'm actually really nice. Like, I'm like, you know,
I'm actually like, not a piece of shit. I'm not mean.
I'm actually not a piece of shit. I'm actually a nice person. No,
listen,
but yeah,
dude, it's like I've not accomplished much in my life. I really haven't.
No, don't say that because you have. You're wrong.
I don't know about that.
No. Yeah, you have.
Well, because are you in college?
I'm in a music program right now.
Okay, so yeah, because I see you at that place all the time on, like, Instagram and shit. What's that? What is that?
So,
what's that like?
So, yeah, I'm in a music program. It's like college. It's like going to college with 20 people that love music as much as you do. It's amazing. And
that's so cool.
It's a program. It's in Abbey Road Studios, which is it's Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's 5 artists, including me. It's 5-6 artists. And then the rest are production students. So our producer is Julio Reyes, which is like the top of.
If you don't know, you don't know. That's
like,
that's a big name.
It's the top of the top. Like
that's a big name.
that man has produced for, I mean, you name it. So like he's so amazing, and honestly, like besides like the name and like the Grammys that you see all over the damn studio and the pressure and like being around executives all day and managers and,
that's fine. That's
and artists and, you know, like people like Will Smith, like, you know, right in front of you.
Super chill.
No big deal.
You walk in, it's like this thing is like, it's just, this is a Grammy.
Yeah.
Super chill.
Casually, you know. But I mean, honestly, like I'm so blessed, and not because of that, not because of like being surrounded by that. Like literally just the energy and the people. It's like you're like being surrounded by people that motivate you 24/7 is such a blessing, and they're all so beautiful, like inside and out. Like they're such beautiful people, and it's so fun. And it's like, you know, you'll go into a studio session, you write an amazing song, you go out for drinks after. Like it's such an energy, like it's a
camaraderie thing. And
it's like I'm surrounded by people that feel like home, because it's where I belong. Like, you know, it's music. Thing. It's
that's
it
a
is,
really rare thing,
and
especially
everybody is so beautiful,
especially in any kind of like art industry.
Exactly.
The animosity.
No, we literally have.
It's wild.
It's crazy. We have all these amazing professionals. Like, you know, we have vocal lessons, we have ear training lessons, we have songwriting sessions, and it's like all these people are the real deal. Like these people are.
So you're legit like learning. Like you're like that's wild. Dude.
Yeah, we're studying and we're recording our first EP. So by the end of next year, we're gonna have an EP and possibly like compete. Like it's real shit. It's
because I feel like a lot of people, right, see you doing that and immediately undervalue you.
Right.
Because you're like, nah, you're just kind of like fucking around. Like you're legitimately like studying and learning and perfecting and sharpening a craft.
Yeah. I always thought like, no, I don't need to go to like school. And I mean, for art, you don't need, like, I'm a huge believer, like, you don't need to go to school. Like, if you have it, you have it. And if you know, like, what you're doing, like, if you know how to handle, like, if you know how to manage your tools, go for it. And you're so amazing at it. And I love that. But also, like, I've learned so much. And it's like, for me, it's I'm not learning like how to like, you know, like build a castle. Like I'm learning how to manage my instrument and how to not harm myself, and lifestyle and what not to do and what to do and how to warm up. And, you know, I'm learning like ear training, you're learning about music. And Trey actually texted me the other day. He's like, do you know how to build a chord? Because I'm about to fucking like, he was like, I'm about to throw this computer. And I was like, I feel you, Trey, because it's hard. It's not easy. You know, you walk into a class. And
those kids throw me for a loop. Yeah, like I admired a lot because I didn't realize that until like they were like one of the first people that actually told me. They're like, we don't get like what the fuck I do either.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I throw them for a loop just as much as they throw me for a loop.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's really cool that like, right, you grew up in a different situation where you found success a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But like again, regardless of that, I'm sure that you qualify for the same things. Like we've just been working quietly for forever.
Exactly.
Nobody is giving a shit until recently. No one cares.
Yeah, because I mean that's the point. Like people don't care about the process until you put out your shit.
Until you get there, yeah.
Like now is like when artists are, you know, being a little bit more open with that stuff, like showing the process. And like with TikTok even. Like what Charlie Puth does, like
I'm addicted to those videos.
Yeah, like and he's so smart because Charlie Puth is a singer, like he's an artist.
Yeah.
But on his TikTok, you see what a fucking genius.
How the fuck that brain works.
Bomb-ass producer he actually is.
Yep.
And it's like you don't see that process when you're listening to his music, or you don't see that process at all.
Of course, because
it's like that's so cool.
What do you think about that? Because I think about it a lot. I'm sure like we all think about it a lot, but it's also like been talked about, like this whole thing of like this idea of like hoarding information.
Yeah.
That everyone is like finally not doing, and everyone's kind of being open and giving resources and talking about all this shit.
I love that, honestly, because it's like now that I'm studying with so many so many talented people, I see it even more that there's so many talented people out there that just need to know what and how to do it. And I think social media is such like, especially like TikTok, it's such a good way for people to learn, because you learn so much through that. Like, you know what, I do not see the reason why people should shut that down. Like, it's such a great way to learn, because there's nothing better than being good at your craft and loving it, and also having the heart to share it with everybody else, like not being selfish about it and not like gatekeeping, like just sharing that, because you really never know who you're gonna help. And it's like, that's true. And it's always good to have people that you do stuff for, because later on you never know what they're gonna do for you. Dude. Like exactly. Yeah. And I love that, honestly. It's really cool. Talk to me about your earlier projects. I think it was an era of me exploring. Fair. And just putting material out. Yeah, because you were putting out Spanish music. Yeah. So that's my audience 100%. And it's taken me a long time to come into terms with that. And not because of anything, just like, I just love like R&B and like the English
You don't want to
market.
get put in that box.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I even like in the music program now, like I walked in with the idea of like making R&B music. Like, you know, like just, I was like, that's what I love. And like, but I haven't made a single R&B song. Okay. I've been exploring so many genres, and I've really been into like electronic and like alternative now.
Wow,
like,
okay.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot more, you know, just different stuff. And I feel like it's really feeding me like in a way that I'm exploring so many things. And I've been thinking about it because I don't want to be casted into like what you said, into like a box of like, she sings this. Like, no, like I want to be versatile enough to sing whatever you want, whatever I want.
Yeah.
And it's also hard in this industry because, you know, you can't just walk in and put out a song and that's it. Boom. Like you're big or people love it. No, you have to experiment and you have to put out material and see what works, what doesn't work.
And the minute you blow up, you have to continue that success, but also you don't want to get categorized immediately into that one thing automatically.
So it's really hard because it's a lot of factors behind, and it's a lot of strategies that people will never understand.
Dude, I saw that. I've noticed that with a young, and I'm sure like that the fucking like strategizing and the analysis and like the execution of all of that is crazy.
It's everything. Like, don't ever think like it's not thought
out. It's not. It's for fun. You know, it's so deliberately calculated.
It's like what he did. He started with TikTok, like, you know, like putting his own verses into the songs.
Yeah, of course.
That worked with him. He ran with it.
He ran with it. Of course.
That's strategy though. Like,
of course.
You know, and he's so good at it too. I'm like, damn, like, how does he think of these things? Because it's like one after the other, and that's a lot of songwriting, and that's a lot of like thinking. And
he's great at like lyricism and really like and adapting. It's super hard.
That's really hard.
That's like, crazy.
You could easily spend. I mean, for me, you can easily spend from 4 hours in the studio till 10, 12 hours.
So talk to me about that, because I know very little about the process in general. I know a little bit more about their process because I'm with them all the time.
Yeah.
What is that process like for you? How do you go about making a song?
Well, for me,
you go lyrics first or sound first?
It depends, to be honest, because sometimes usually when I'm like with like my producers like at the studio, I'll be like, okay, just start playing something, and like if I like something, like I'll be like, wait, do that again, or like I always try to be recording 24/7 so that like nobody forgets anything, because I'm very like random, like I zone out and then I'll do like something. Okay. And then they'll be like, oh my God, that was good. And I'll be like, I don't know what I did.
You lost it.
Exactly. Okay, gotcha. So I'm always trying to record, but I usually write first and then like I'll put it down to a melody. But for me, it's like I love writing, but I don't feel like I'm as good as like turning it into music just because I think about it too much. So then I overthink, and then I'm like, wait. And I'm trying right now to like perfect, like saying more with less. You know, that whole like minimalistic thing is very in right now, like simple.
Yes, true.
So I'm a person of like, I'm very emotional, and I try to put a lot into my music, but also like I'm trying to learn to like not say too much, but say what I need to say at the same time.
I think that's how you get to the point where you can make good music though.
Yeah, that's how, I mean, emotion, you know, vulnerability is beautiful. I've always vouched for that, and men and women, I hate when like people are like tough and like, no, I don't have emotions, like, and that's everybody now. I've seen so many girls like that, so many guys like that. It's oh my God.
It's not. And I think honestly, low key, the whole thing of like being quiet is very cool, and like burnout is very cool, and like overexhausting yourself and not thinking about like your mental health and the strain of it.
That's like, so important. Yeah. Bottling shit up is never like good. And I'm so big on that. I'm so big on like.
Good for you for like tapping into that really early. Cause like I just got into that. Like I think when I started the show, it wasn't supposed to be that. And then it just became just to have conversations and to just be open and talk about shit.
I think people underestimate the power of words a lot, and just emotions in general, because at the end of the day, like no matter how tough you think you are, you're emotionally driven, period. 100%. Like
I hate when people steer away from that. I am 1000% emotionally driven.
The more you steer away from it, the closer you're going to get to it.
Yep. The more it's going to kick your ass, low key. Like, the more
it follows you, because it just eats you up. And that's also an emotion. Like you're feeling like something's eating you up. So it's like you're not doing anything. So I'm so big on that. On like love, and just express your love. And life is too short.
Super short, dude.
You know, like you have no clue. Like I've seen friends go, and I've seen people go through so much shit, and it's heartbreaking, because I know what people go through, and I go through it myself. I'm a person that I have a million things going on in my head, and I may seem like I'm okay, but in reality, like maybe you're not okay. And it's like, check up on people because you really never know. And that's so important. And I'm so emotionally driven. Like, I'm so big on like love and just like romantic and like with family too, like with friends, like, you know, I romanticize everything in my life because you never know when you're going to go. And I love like capturing like every moment
100%.
And just savoring that because
1,000%.
You never know. It's just so simple as respecting and having empathy and like
being empathetic is
not hard.
Dude, it's the biggest fucking key.
That's not hard. Like whether you understand that person or what they're doing or what they're going through or not, empathy is like, it's key. Like it's really not hard, but obviously like common sense is the least common thing. Like people don't have that. Like
you're not wrong. Wow, that like, was fuck yeah, dude. That was great. Holy shit, true, that was good.
It's not like it's common sense. It's not common.
It really
a lot of people don't have it, and it'll really fuck you up. Like in the long run. I've had this conversation, you know, before, and I always say it like it's not money. It's not, and that's not what success is defined by.
It's
like,
not attention.
It's your happiness because at the end of the day, you can have a huge house and you can have all the money in the world, but
it really
we see it.
We see it happening.
Artists. We've seen artists that have sadly taken their lives or that have left us early, and we see artists that are going through
and it's such depression. A shock because we think like, dude, what don't you have?
Exactly, and it's
like,
don't you have happiness? That's literally
like what on earth could you want for?
And our biggest mistake is that we're constantly trying to chase that feeling of happiness, and it's like it's gonna come and go.
Yep, and you have to find that when you have it.
Exactly, and the main thing is just being happy within, no matter what. Yeah. Like I've been trying to like study that and perfect it. Like life throws so much shit at me, and like especially right now I'm going through so much, and life just throws and throws at you, and I just try to like, you know what, like breathe in, breathe out. I'm here, I'm present, like I'm on earth. Not everybody can say that. I'm here, and tomorrow will be another day, and whatever happens, and there's a purpose. Like I've really been trying to like perfect that because if not, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. Like with all the shit I'm going through, and like my
if
music,
you let yourself be taken by like the roller coaster of it all, it's gonna be fucking crazy.
You can't. I'm trying to be strong not only for myself but for my family because I do feel like that's a big part. Like
that's what we do it for.
That's exactly.
That's what we do.
That's the only thing you do it for.
I think it's crazy because like when you finally get to a point of like, especially if. And I'm really, really happy that like now like we're friends.
Yeah, of course.
And I have friends who are getting that attention, and like by extension I get that question and I get that like recognition of like we're in a really fucking privileged position. Yeah. We are super privileged and we don't realize it. Like, just like the conversation of like the other thing that we were just talking about is super one-sided, right? Because people who aren't artists and aren't on this platform or in this industry don't realize like, yeah, I want to be David. I want to direct stuff, but can you sit down for 17, 22 hours and edit like David can? Can you sit down and like really fucking like no bullshit, no cap, be fucking like that must be vulnerable as fuck for you to sit down and write about your emotions and people knowing.
Yeah, it's like
certain people know who it's about and what it's about.
It's a beautiful thing because like you just said, like, I mean, I had no clue that you would sit down for that many hours.
Oh, of course.
You know, and it's like, it's such like,
this will take me like 2 days
like,
to make.
It's crazy because it takes so much, and it's the detail, and it's like not knowing what's going to work, trusting your gut, and like also
taking that risk.
Yeah, it's like taking that risk, but also not losing yourself in the process of it. Like not just putting shit out to put out for people. It's like you want a piece of you to be there.
And people really, I don't think people really understand how much of a fucking risk. Like that's a gamble, dude.
It's hard because
for you to open up,
it's so
put it out there, and for it not to work.
Yeah, and honestly, at that point, I feel like even if I were like right now, if I were to put out like the most vulnerable song I've ever made in my life, and it flops, I don't care because I did it.
You didn't do it because you didn't do it. You didn't do it for it to be successful.
Literally, like that song, like I speak on like something so personal. I even mention something that like only that person and I would understand. Okay. And it's like I didn't write it for millions of people. I wrote it for myself. Exactly. And it's like it was such a healing process for me.
Yep.
And like, you know, it's like the healing process never ends. Truly.
That's another thing, dude. Like, our work is so cathartic for us.
Oh yeah.
It is so. I don't know if you go to therapy. I don't go to therapy. My work is my therapy.
Yeah,
my work is my therapy.
Say that. I'm like, I do need therapy though. Like,
oh,
I
for
need it,
sure.
but I feel like music is my therapy, and
that's
I'm sure,
where
like,
you.
as this is for you, and like film and editing in general. Like,
you te desahogas.
Exactly.
Te desahogas in that moment, in that process of like, you get your frustration and you get like your anger, and you, at a certain degree, get closure.
Yeah, exactly.
From like.
And it's so beautiful how like for me, like how music can do that for me, and now this whole like thing I'm going through. It's so beautiful, and I really wish, like, the people that I love, like, I wish I could just bring them with me so that they can experience that. But even then, they're not going to understand, and that's fine because not everybody
is built for that.
Exactly. But for me, it's so beautiful to just go to the studio and see everybody and, like, learn about music together and listen to music and, like, fuck around and, like, go for drinks after while listening to music and just, like, hey, should we film this? Like, oh, let's do this. Like, bring a guitar to the beach. And, just, like, it's so beautiful to me because it's, like, it's such like a piece. Like it's
we're in that in between spot.
Exactly.
Of
it's
like right when like peace. Careers go crazy busy.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, for me, like music, like it's something that is my career, but also something you can do for fun.
And forever.
Forever. Exactly.
Like you're never done.
And it's tough also because like for singers, like you have to take care of your, you know, of your instrument, and it's like it's a lot. Like you can't fuck around, and you have to know like. You know,
how does that work? How do you like? What's the
like technique?
What's the skincare routine for your voice? How the fuck does that work?
What's the moisturizer that you use?
What do you moisturize?
I mean, for me, my mom is a vocal coach. She's been a vocal coach her whole life, and right now I'm with another vocal coach. Like that's part of like the music program. But before that, she asked me. She was like, "So what's your routine?" I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't have one." Like literally, I've always just sang because it comes naturally to me, and I'm good at it. Like, and my mom trained me in some ways. She taught me how to breathe correctly, like you know, like on your diaphragm and like how to. But
I'm gonna talk about that. I have asthma, so I gotta figure that shit out.
My mom has asthma too.
Damn, I got no excuse now. I have to learn how to breathe.
When you learn, like literally, I mean, this is a muscle. Like, and people.
I know. I don't think about that.
People laugh when I say it's literally like you're going to the gym. Yeah. I'm not kidding. Like, and it's harder because you can't see this. It's not like you can be
there's no way of knowing.
Fix that. You can't see your instrument, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's so mind fucking because it's like you can't see it, you can't touch it. Like you can feel on the outside, but it's not the same thing. It's not like I can tell you like that's wrong. Like move your arm.
Fix your form,
So it's like it's about breathing. It's about positioning, and it's warm ups that open up your throat, and then there's some that you have to use your nose, and it's a lot. Like it's. Literally incorporating your whole head, your whole body, because it's breathing, it's posture, it's like, it's everything. It's crazy. It's like people, what? I don't think people realize how hard it actually is. No, I just set
a fucking computer and I cut shit up.
Yeah, people do not understand how hard it actually is, especially when you're like a singer, you know.
Yeah, you're not like
because even then
solely
rapping,
reliant.
Down, like it still takes because it's breath control and it's you know the color and the tone of your voice and like knowing. And what parts to add a certain color, like, and you know, it's like, and then people are like color, but it literally makes sense
to you, Like,
you know, in songs, it's all about like dissecting it and each line, like, what color do I want for this line? What intention do I want for this line?
Yeah.
Where am I gonna breathe here? Where am I gonna do this? And it's like knowing how to like accessorize, like.
No, it really is like a living. It's like it's a living. Much,
not too little with the ad libs. It's a.
It's a living, breathing thing, dude. Yeah. Like all of it affects every single part of it. It all works in like.
Yeah. And I mean, singing, it's either you got it or you don't. Like, you don't learn how to sing.
That's terrifying.
Like, you don't learn, like, obviously you can get better.
That sounds terrifying.
That's 100% true. You can get better, and ear training is a thing. But you can't learn how to sing.
That sounds terrifying.
Be good at it. And, like,
that sounds fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying, but it's so fun. I don't know.
Because, like, I had a lot of phases when I was a kid. I tried music. I knew it in my gut.
Everybody does.
I knew it in my gut. I never tried singing because I knew it in my gut. I was like, I don't have it. I know I don't. But I tried like learning guitar.
Yeah.
I broke 3 of them.
My dog broke one. Like
I straight up just can't fucking do it.
And my dog broke it, and I was so upset because it was such a meaningful gift to me. And I wanted to learn guitar in that moment, but for some reason, like my brain, I'm just so hard on myself. Like if
you don't get it immediately.
Like, dude, I was like, I kind of suck, and then I just stopped.
Yeah.
Never again. And I have the capability of doing it. I don't know.
For sure.
Like,
you have the capacity, but it's your mind that's just like, listen, motherfucker, we got one chance.
Yeah. Literally.
If you don't land it, we're done.
That you understand me because I'm like, dude, am I the only person that thinks like this? But speaking about it makes me feel so good because I'm like, no, I'm not. And it's normal.
No.
And it's okay. Like, I try not to be hard on myself.
Of course. Like, I mean, then again, like, maybe we're both crazy.
No, literally, yeah.
But that's fine. Like, we're just not crazy alone. We're crazy together.
My God,
so it's fine.
I talk about this all the time with one of my friends, like Riza. Like, she's in the music program as well. She's so beautiful and talented. And we're like, dude, like, are we crazy? Like, is it that?
Oh, for sure. We're kind of crackheads.
But we are. I think every artist is fucking
has a little bit of that, for sure.
The trauma is real.
It really
so
is,
real.
dude.
Like, the trauma is so real.
It really is.
So here we are. Like,
but then again, like, low key, kind of proud that we've been able to spin it into a career kind of thing.
That's the beauty of it. Like, putting all the shit into, like, music or film, like, it takes a lot.
It does. It's emotionally draining.
What you're trying to say into a song or into an episode of a podcast or a film.
The minute you put it out, right, best case scenario, it does well. That's not going to be interpreted the right way by everybody.
Exactly.
That's another one.
That's the other part.
That's the other side of it.
Like, that's the other side. Like, that's like the only, what we've spoken about is only the process.
What we do.
What we do.
This is what we do. But the minute we put it out, it's out of our hands. We
haven't even spoken about, like, the people. Like,
how it's received. Like, that's out of our hands. We are completely, that is terrifying.
When shit is out of your
control. When you have,
I can't tell you what to think.
Nurtured this thing.
Oh my God, no way.
It's your fucking baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you fucking nurtured it and built it from the ground up.
You could be talking about something so deep to you and people would be like, this sucks.
And all of a sudden, it's the best song of your career. People hate you for it. They hate you. Your image is ruined. You're a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. It's so much.
There's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of layers to it.
It's literally like baking a fucking cake. Or worse.
Probably worse. What the fuck? Yeah, because like, where the fuck you get the idea from? Pre-production, actually doing it, the process of doing it, it collaboratively with other people if you have to.
And that's excluding everything going on in your personal life.
Exacto. That's the fucking problem.
That's excluding.
We still have to like.
You still have to show up.
Not even that, like. You gotta have a social life and maybe try to somehow have a relationship if you can to like maybe one day have a kid
100%.
and build a life. Like you have to be a normal person.
That's the other part, and it's like it's so funny because we're so. I mean, how old are you? You're
22.
You're 20. I'm 20, and it's like I'm thinking about all these things that are gonna happen 10 years from now.
You know what it is though? That's such a great advantage. I love that we can do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I have conversations about shit like this with like 28-year-olds.
Yes.
32-year-olds. Exactly. And they're like, yo, you're so ahead of the game.
And
you know
I'm like, yes, exactly. And I was literally about to get there. I think about these things. Like I think about relationships so much and like family because I love period. Like I love being in love and I love having a person that like stick by with me and I love that. And it's so beautiful. But it's also really hard because like, especially my career choice.
We
like,
don't do something normal.
Exactly. And it takes so fucking much, like mentally and like, and it's not only about like being in love. Like it's not like I love you too. No. It's not that. It's about choosing that person and like being like, you know what? I'm gonna stick by you. Yes. Whatever comes towards us,
whatever the fuck comes,
we're gonna beat it. That's
low key, even more because I'm sure like we understand our process and our perspective so much. Like we even though you don't want to, like you lack a certain amount of empathy.
Yeah.
To understand. The amount of empathy that the person that we end up with requires.
Oh, yeah.
Whoo,
a lot. And it's empathy and it's patience.
It's support and patience blindly.
And just knowing
blindly.
That. Literally blindly. Just knowing that one day you could be good and the next day, like it's a continuous like turning page. And it's like, and what you said, you talked to 28, like I'm in a music program and there are 28-year-olds, like there are people that are older and you're talking to them and it's like what you say, they'll say like you're so ahead and that's such a good feeling because I talk to people that are 30 and they're going through relationship problems.
The same shit that we were going through now.
I went through in high school.
In 17, yep, when you were 17, yep.
And I'm like, wait a minute. So it's like you realize.
You're not as behind as you think you are.
Exactly. And it's also like the things that you want to try to avoid in relationships and in life in general. You're not going to because they're still going to happen.
You have to.
Because you're human.
You have to face it.
You literally.
It's part of the growing process.
You either face it or you
try to run away from it until you get exhausted because you're not going to beat it.
Exactly.
You're not.
You either face it and you become stronger, whether it's together or apart, or you run away from it. And
that's a tough thing.
You never really got over that.
That's a tough thing to. Specifically, that of like, listen, I think we're gonna grow together, and I think we're gonna grow the best separately.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
It's hard. It's a hard realization, I think, because it's like, no matter how much you want to grow together, like, there's a point
we're young, like, dude. There's shit we haven't done yet.
Yeah, there's a point where it's kind of like, we're at a different page.
Exactly.
We're at a different page.
Especially when, like, people are so, like, we're very different. We do very different things. Very different things, we're really fucking out there.
Yeah, it's difficult. But it's also, like, a part of just growing, and you really never know, because it could just be like a bump in the road.
It could be a phase. It could be a rough patch. It could be definite. You don't know.
And that's the scariest part, especially when you see like such like a future with that person, or like such a potential.
Of course.
And it's difficult because it's like only you know that feeling, like, and you could meet other people and you could get with other people, whatever. It doesn't hit. And it never goes away.
It doesn't hit.
And when it never goes away, it's kind of like, fuck, it's for a reason. That's like, there has to be something here. Like, either we're gonna like end up together, or like I knew you in my past life. Like, it's something, and it's like, and it's all these energies, and it's real. Like,
it's the same thing with work,
with life, like with relationships.
Everything. Because I look at my relationship with Eliang and Trey and Gio and everybody there, and I'm like, listen, I could go tomorrow. I could leave this entire thing and I could go tomorrow and I can make tons of money doing what I do easily. And I could eventually, if I do that long enough and I hustle long enough, I can meet the people that I've been wanting to meet my entire life.
Yeah.
Will it mean as much? No. I know for a fact, in my gut, I really do believe that. I don't think I'm ever going to find a dynamic like that.
Exactly.
Ever again.
Yeah. It's about the growing process.
And so right, we're not perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Hannah Montana. Oh, fuck. But like you put up with that.
Yeah.
And you persevere because you know that this is something that's worth waiting for and something that's worth nurturing.
Exactly. And I'm so big on that too. Like,
that's a big thing now. People are just like, you fuck up once and we're done.
No, I know. And sometimes we even think like
we do that retroactively.
We do that like subconsciously. We're like, fuck. Yes. But it's like, oh my God, like it's only the beginning.
Yes. Like
this is literally only the beginning.
I think we're trained to want to do that. We're trained to, right? Because I don't know about you. Honestly, that was you. I remember like seeing, I don't know, just like that whole thing of like you see when you're 22 or 20, you see like 14-year-olds that are fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why wasn't I doing that? Why wasn't that me? What the fuck?
Me, yeah.
And then even worse, they're like, yo, 22-year-old, I'm 22, you're fucking killing it, and I'm way better.
Yeah.
You're not as good as me. Because, like, listen, empathy and, like, collaborativeness, real talk. You got it. You got it. You don't. You don't.
Know your worth and know, like, when you're fucking bomb at something.
Yeah.
And that's such an interesting point because it's so true. And I think about that literally all the time. Sometimes I'll see like
we gotta talk a lot more often.
Yeah.
Because like low key, we think about the same shit all the fucking time.
That's how artists work. But I think about that so often because I see so many young artists that are so talented too, and I'm like, damn. And I'm here, but it's like, wait, pause. Like I'm here, but I'm doing this shit. Like I'm studying for something that I love. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I am enjoying the process. Why am I complaining? It's like you spend so much time thinking about where we're at right now, and we're not appreciating it.
Nope.
We look forward to the next step, but it's like we need to savor this moment because it's like it's gonna be gone, whether it's in a month, in a year, whatever. It's gonna be gone, and then you're gonna look back at that, and you're gonna be like, wow. And God willing, hopefully, like and for Trey too and Elian, like we're all up there, and we can look back and be like, damn. I
really was in that moment of living it.
Yeah, and it took more time than usual, but we enjoyed it, and that's the whole point. Because then you see all these artists that made it out like fucking 15, 17. And then they're
burnt out
they're burnt out and they're so sad, and that's so sad to see because people got the wrong impression of like music and stuff, and it's such
look at Britney.
Beautiful, like that's so sad, fucking and I'm so crazy. Happy that she's finally out of that shit.
Yes,
but you have stuff like that, and even like Demi Lovato, who who's so like people that talk about it like real, like she's so sad and like shit that she goes through and like her drug addiction and. Yeah, people like Justin too, who have gone through so much and like now is finding God and all this. And it's like, oh my God, like he's literally only like, what, like 20?
He's like 27. No, he's like 27, 28, something like that.
So young. And it's like literally as a child, like people were like looking at him, seeing him, like you're spot on.
Yeah.
And it's like you have all this on you, like Billie Eilish as well.
Dang.
And like her issue is like her body like not showing, and that's so disgusting. Like that's people literally fucking
like scrutinizing.
Like she's a young ass girl. Like she was a minor until like a year ago. Yeah. So talented, but it's like these are really real issues. That people seem to forget.
You know the scariest part to me is this is shit that has been going on for
forever. All like everything that goes on now, it's not like it's just popping out now.
Yup.
Like, I hope people understand that. Like,
no, dude, this has been going on for ages.
But it's just like now we're in an era like, and especially with like social media, people are way more comfortable.
Accountability.
Sometimes more comfortable than what they should be. Because some people just be throwing shit out there, and I'm sometimes like, you know what? It's
personal boundaries a little bit. Personal boundaries.
Yeah, there's a wall. Like
yes, there is a limit.
That's also good to have limits.
Yes, I don't know about you. For me, you know, I've reached a level of like really, really, really happy that I've reached a level of like self-awareness where I can understand that like that comes from me and my family not coming from much. And so like you live, like the fact that you woke up today is great, cool. What about tomorrow, motherfucker? Like what about tomorrow? Like are we gonna live first? Like are we gonna we have to spend today getting ready to survive tomorrow. And so you're always living in the next one. You're always living in the next.
And that's such like an
accolade
exhausting
or goal
thing
or whatever.
too, because it's like you're constantly thinking ahead, and it's like you're not enjoying right now. Like
where you are.
You know, you'll be like, oh my God, but tomorrow or like next week or like next month, and it's like And that's my biggest mistake too. Like I think ahead a lot. I overthink. Oh my God. My middle name should be overthinker. Like I overthink every tiny detail and conversations and the way that you look at me and everything. It's
every single little interaction, everything.
So exhausting because anxiety is so real, and that's another thing that's so important to me. Like, you know, like towards mental health, like anxiety is so real, and like I wake up every day like with so much anxiety, and it's like, oh my God, like
I wish I could be the person who wakes up every day and it's just like, I'm gonna take an hour, just like get my coffee and stretch. Swear to fucking God, the first thing I do, I wish the first thing I do every fucking morning is I go, because I'm a really heavy sleeper.
Yeah, me too.
I grab my phone and I'm like, what fucking time is it?
Oh my God.
And I grab my shit and I run.
Oh really?
Because sometimes I'm late, sometimes like, oh my God, I had to do this thing before and like.
I'm actually the complete opposite. I wake up so early for no reason. It's just hard for me. Like literally I'm actually going through so much. Like it's really hard for me to like even get up from bed sometimes. And that's normal. Like, you know, we're all going through so much.
What time do you go to bed?
I'll go to bed anywhere from like 11 till like 1. And I'll still be up at like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds beautiful.
Sometimes. I mean, I went to bed really late yesterday, actually.
Did I clock out at like 7:30, 8 a.m.?
Yikes. Yeah.
And I'm up at like.
I mean, I'm
doing shit at noon.
I mean, I was at that point, you know, when I was like traveling and like interviews.
Of course.
Like, one day here, one day over there, the next. Like that was literally my life.
You don't know what fucking day of the week it is. You don't know what time it is.
And I love that adrenaline.
That's what keeps me fucking going.
It's kind of like weird because it's like.
No, that's why I live in New York City.
I've literally been.
That's why
let's go to New York. I've literally been talking about that like for so long. Like I missed that adrenaline.
The minute you set foot there, everything is fucking moving.
It's literally like go.
You never stop.
I miss that energy right now. Like,
that doesn't exist here.
No, it really doesn't, and I need that at least for a week. Like I really do want to go and like just feel that and just stand there and be like, fuck. That's really fucking toxic. I self-induce that. Yeah. Like it's literally that's bad. Oh my God.
That's the reason that I procrastinate.
Yes.
So literally. Like I can do the mountain of work in like a 16th of the day.
Y'all should have seen if you would have seen me in high school.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God, they have 3 months ahead. The night before.
Keep in mind, we're recording this today. Today is November 27th. I haven't done a single homework for any of my semester. I'm taking 5 classes.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Like I don't know what it is in our brains, like that it's just like it's okay.
I think it's the fight. I think if it's fight or flight, we're fight people.
Oh yeah.
We're not flight.
No, 120%. Like I'm literally like that, and it's so funny because. It's not good for an artist.
No, it's like, fucking terrible.
You know, you should be super disciplined and like you know, get up and like
for relationships and shit.
Like,
dude, like I don't know why. I that's kind of like a running joke. I will start talking to a girl, and like 2 days later, 3 days later, the biggest thing in my career happens, and I'll ghost for like a week and a half.
Oh yeah.
And she cuts me, and I'm like, I understand. I'm sorry. I understand. You're not wrong.
Literally, I'm like that too because like, I mean. First of all, like, I don't even like giving people my time. Like, I'm so tired.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I will give myself to everybody.
Yeah, I'm not like that because I don't like people having like a piece of me. Like, I don't like giving that advantage to somebody. Like, oh yeah, like I I know her. Like, no, you don't. Like, fair. I only show you like as much as I want to show you.
As you want, yeah.
Because I'm very private with myself, and I'm very like. Big on like my space
boundary, yeah,
and I don't let anybody near it. Like if I let you in, it's because
you fucking
see Like, I really
call it the core.
Yeah, I really
you reach the core.
Yeah, when you like, I really see something in you, and it's like that's so hard for me to let go because it's like I don't like I'm not the type of person that's like okay next.
No,
I'm like as much as I would want to. Like,
no,
it's not.
I do that superficially.
Yeah, exactly.
Like networking, floating person.
Exactly. But like literally,
very few people really know me.
For me, like relationship wise and like friendships too, like.
Do I have no friends?
Not everybody. Like
people question that about me. Like people are like, why are your friends the people that you work with? And I'm like, because they spend time with me. They know who I am. Because
and it wasn't like a thing that you guys met at work. It's like something that you built together.
Real fucking talk.
Yeah.
Who else hits you up?
Yeah, like
do people actually genuinely, if you weren't famous, if you weren't known, if you weren't working, would people actually hit you up?
That's the big question. It's like,
I don't think so.
Exactly. And it's like I've had that experience so many times. Like if you see my DMs, it's like, what the fuck is this? It's crazy shit, and it's like it's nasty and it's so weird. But I don't give anybody my time.
Even for people who are like us that are like, if it's fight or flight, it's fight people. There's a point where like you don't have the emotional endurance to get up and do that shit. You don't have it.
No, you don't, and that's very real, and it's scary because it's like you never know who's going through it. It's
scary for us because like we push that limit. Like I want to find that limit.
Yeah.
And the day I find that limit.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, a little bit too much.
The day we find those boundaries and the limits and the balances, it's like
honestly though, shit. I think the day we find that will be cool.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that we have the emotional endurance because we've been under so much stress and so much strain for such a long time.
We're actually so much stronger than what we think.
It's like the gym. Like you low key, like you've been in there
a
long time.
Yeah, and you see results after months and months of that's my fucking problem too with literally the gym. Like I need to get my ass back in there because I'm like a week in there and I'm like
nothing's happening and I'm like
I look like Tiana Taylor.
Yup.
Something's going on. I'm leaving.
Same thing with the guitar.
Literally,
same exact thing.
God damn it.
Because we're so fucking hard on ourselves, dude.
I know. And I need to you know, I feel like I have it, but it's so hard. One thing is having it, another thing is applying it. And it's so hard.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, we know what we have to do. And it's like, and those things show, for example, when you're talking to somebody, like, you know, if I see a girl on the fucking bathroom floor crying about like something, I'll tell her everything that I know that was going to help her. But why don't I apply it to myself?
To yourself? Yep.
It's like self-sabotage.
Yep.
It's crazy because like it's so real.
You know what it is? I actually had this realization. Ironically, I don't know if you saw. I posted something on Instagram. That was like a paragraph long about like self. You didn't see it?
Yeah. I need to see that.
I was like sobbing in my bed for like 2 hours.
No, I felt that.
Like by myself.
Especially, literally, I'm sorry.
In the dark, just sobbing with a phone screen on.
I felt that. I'm truly sorry we've had issues recently because of my insecurities. Oh yeah. Listen, insecurities are the devil.
They will eat
that
you
shit
alive.
Eats you up, and it comes out in ways that
in the most unintentional, aggressive ways that
literally,
you don't mean.
You're like, fuck, this is not me.
It's not me. So like, I'd had this realization. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, no,
like no one was in the hospital. No one like died. Like nothing bad in itself happened. It was just like the culmination of like all of that weight inside of me. I just broke down one day and I cried at like 3 a.m. for 2 hours, and I posted that. And I was like, all right. And the realization that I came to was I'm not scared of committing, but I'm scared of failing at something that I commit to. And so to not do that, to get out of that fear, I just won't commit at all.
Oh, are we twins?
For real,
are we
low
the same
key.
person?
I'm gonna say it one more time because I'm gonna cut that and put it on Instagram. I am not scared of committing. I am just so afraid of failing something that I commit to that I just won't commit at all in the first place.
It's that,
and that includes like my own personal growth. That's why I don't go to the gym. I know I have to. Yeah. Like, listen, we've all had traumas. We all had issues. My solution was eating. I quite literally stuffed my feelings. Yeah. And I've spent my life and my work pushing myself past my like physical limit, right? Because look at me. I'm gonna be so real right now. Fuck, I haven't said this on the internet ever. I'm going to tell you right now, look at me. Look me up and down. Look at me. Look at my body. Look at my face. Would you believe that I'm close to 500 pounds?
No. Never.
I am like 470 something.
Wow. You honestly don't look it at all. Well, that's actually such like a touchy subject too, because like I've realized lately that like I'm going through that too. Like I do have an eating disorder, like, and it's like you'll spend a whole day without like eating. And like recently I was out and I was at a baby's birthday.
Okay.
And I'm like here at the table and like my hand is shaking. Like I'm trying to eat and I can't. And then like I can't, and it's like I'm shaking it and I, like my head, you're like, don't eat that, like that's bad for you, like you look fucking horrible, like you need to lose weight, like, and it's like you put the fork down and you don't eat, and then like you'll get home and like whatever you can find, you'll fucking stuff it. It's like binge, and it's like it's horrible. It's really it's something that's actually really hard.
So difficult.
And I had a time where I was, you know, I got on a nutrition plan, and it wasn't even like mainly for like my appearance. It was because I knew I needed to have something. Like, and I would eat at 8 in, 12, 4, 8. And I was doing so good and I was feeling so good. And it was such a good routine, and it was hard at first, but it was good because I had that to look forward to. Yeah. Now I'll literally go a whole day without eating. And I don't even feel it.
No,
and then at the end, I'll like stuff my face, and it's so bad.
It's so unhealthy for you.
And I actually I literally cry about this because it's so hard, and it's like, you know, like you have to fix it, but you don't know how. And even if you do know how, again, it's like
you're
applying
scared.
it is so hard because you're so scared that you're gonna be doing good, and then you'll let go of it, and then you fall back.
You're scared of failing something you commit to, so you just don't commit.
Yeah, that's literally how it is, and that's how it is with your career and with relationships, with everything. It's like, it's so scary to be doing so good. To
really risk that.
You know, to be doing so good with somebody for years or months or whatever, and like you see this future, like you in your career too, like you see something happening, and then from one day to the other, everything just falls, and then you're back at square one.
Especially when you do that in the name of something better. I've been like, you're just scared. Like, you're really fucking scared to like risk the little thing that you've accomplished.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's fucking terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's like, you know, as like independent and as work driven as we are, and as much love and peace as we find in our art, we're humans, and we're gonna come home eventually, and you want to come home to someone, to something, to something, like to feel loved. And it's not even like to feel loved; it's just like having a partner. You know,
just not being alone. Like, just not being alone.
Like, exactly. Like, nobody on this fucking planet. Like, I truly don't believe that. Like, I don't believe that there's people on this planet that are like 120%, like 100% okay with that. Yep. Because
doesn't exist.
At least to me, like, that doesn't make sense, because like I said, I'm such like an emotionally like driven person, and like I love so much that I can't picture.
I don't know if this happens to you.
Like me coming home and like, you know, like
it being empty. I don't know if it happens to you, but like, I get into a lot of fights with like my parents or like my family when it's like they don't believe that, because they come home or like they walk in on me doing my stuff and my work and my life, and I'm like, fuck, like I just want to be alone, because I also thrive alone.
Yeah.
I also thrive, like that's why I work at 4 a.m, because no one calls me.
Oh yeah.
I go on Instagram and I refresh and nothing has fucking changed.
I felt that.
I can't like, fucking distract myself. So I love being alone, but I also love and I need collaborativeness. Yep. And it's so hard to like, again, finding to line that up with other people, because everyone's on a different fucking timeline. So the day that you want to be super touchy and super feely and super lovey and dovey is the day I'm like, leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my God.
Don't fucking touch me.
I swear to God, literally, that is so accurate to me. Like, I understand you like so much, because there's days where you're just like, work, don't touch me, and then there's days where I'm like, please touch me.
Yeah, like listen, I just want to watch a movie and like just cuddle and like,
oh my God, yes.
Can we just talk?
Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Literally, like, and that's so hard, but it's so beautiful when you find somebody that you can have that with.
Yes.
And I consider myself somebody that's like so easygoing, and I don't you know, I don't mean that in the sense of like I'm like no, like I mean that in the sense because I really no, but sometimes you have to step outside the box, and I've been doing that recently because I'm like trying to like love myself more and like self like reflect.
Yeah.
And I step out of myself for a second, and I'm like, I'm there for my people. Like, I'm really the type of person that like As much as I love what I do.
No one knows that. No one else knows that but you.
Exactly. As much as I love what I do, like if I'm in the studio right now and like somebody that really needs me calls me, I'm dropping.
I'm leaving. I'm going.
Leaving. I don't give a fuck. Like whatever it is, the minor, like the most minor inconvenience that you might have, even if you feel like it's dumb. And there are other days that it's the opposite. You called me for a reason.
Of course.
So I'm gonna go. Like I'm like that for the people that I love 100%. I'm always there, and I feel like I'm getting good now at separating like my art from my personal life and my beliefs from
I suck at that.
Other people's beliefs, because not everybody, and that's something that's been really hard for me to understand. Not everybody has the same mindset as you. Not everybody has the same heart. Not everybody processes and like,
understands says things the same way.
And sometimes people will be saying something that they don't even mean in a bad way. It's just that's how they are. That's how they say it. And me being so emotional and such an overthinker, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like, why would you say that? But then I'm like, wait, that's not a bad thing to say.
Dude.
And I've been learning, like, more now to, like,
empathy.
Be able to, to be able to manage that, because that's really such a huge thing. But, like, having somebody that you can do that with that, like, has such a big career, but at the same time, you can be completely normal with.
Yes.
And just vibe.
Yep.
And if you want to like listen to music, if you want to like
honestly,
go to the beach at
very underrated part of this, if you can enjoy the company of somebody for more than like a weekend,
that's
motherfucker, dude.
That's the hard part, because it's all fun and games, like you're fucking
until
around
shit
with
gets real,
and then you're like a weekend and you're like,
this is kind of boring, this kind of sucks. This kind of sucks.
I love that, like,
this kind of sucks.
Like my experiences, like my relationships, I'm so glad that I've picked the people that has never happened to me with.
Same.
You know, like that's why I'm saying, like, I don't give myself to everybody, because I handpick like the people that I've been in a relationship with, like, which have literally been 2 people. Like, I've handpicked them because it's like, it's people that I've felt that connection with, that like, I'll never get tired of you.
Yeah.
You know, ever. And it's like, I still feel that way, and it's normal, and it's a beautiful thing, because it's like, it's also a very mature thing to realize that it is okay to love and to realize that with some people, you'll really never stop loving them.
I came to that crossroads just now, like when I did this post thing of like, again, do I know that? Have I always known that in my gut? Yes. I don't know anybody who's actually fucking talked about that. We are all fake.
Literally.
All of us, motherfucker. You too. All of us. No, everybody has a face and a persona and a personality that they put out the minute they leave their house.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
And it's so exhausting.
And if you risk exposing that, right? Because the only people who expose that are successful. Because you got the fucking security. Exactly. You've secured the bag. So now you can go talk all the shit you want.
Exactly.
And I've chosen to kind of stop doing that. And that was a big thing that I thought about. I was like, am I really, like, this risk I could shit on my career before it's even started.
Yeah. And that's such a hard and real thing, because it's like, you want to be open. Like, you want to be, because it's so important.
The mask is exhausting.
It's so important, because the whole point of this is like to be utterly and completely yourself. But at the same time, we're putting up a face that's not who we are.
That's not who we are.
And that's just part of the career. That's part of the job. And it's like, but it's also so frustrating, because like, for example, like I see your stories all the time too. Like, you're so real and open and raw.
I've tried to be recently,
and it's so relatable, and that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes people don't give a fuck about being relatable. People just want to see what you're up to.
Do you know where I get? Do you know where I get cocky? I get cocky on Twitter. This
was
fucking. I did not think this was gonna be that like deep of an episode. Low key.
Literally.
We're gonna work together soon.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
Whatever it is, pictures, video, whatever.
I don't know.
I'll be like whatever. Like, if you want me to be idea. Like a dolphin, I'll be a dolphin. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Stop. But we have to work for sure.
Like, stop. I just pictured that. I'm just like, you in like a dolphin costume.
I'll literally come and like turn on your computer for you, like under the table. It's okay.
Oh fuck. No, listen, I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm excited to work with you.
Yeah. Especially like, after getting to know each other, like
for sure, of course. I think I understand you a lot. I think we're actually very similar.
Yeah, we are,
and that's crazy.
It is,
because we are very difficult personality type to find.
But we're the best. Nothing easy is.
Listen, just check Twitter.
Good things are worth waiting for.
True. This is true. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I think we killed it.
We did. It was so fun. It was
Very great.
It was a good way to heal too.
Same. I did not think this was gonna get that deep. Low key.
No. Now I'm gonna be watching this like, damn, I already said all that shit. Now everybody knows about my eating disorder. Everybody knows I'm heartbroken. Everyone
knows that I'm like fucking morbidly obese. Like, I'm here. I'm good.
Oh my God,
we did
everybody knows, but it's okay. I feel like
I can still do this. I can still do the splits. So fuck all of you. Yeah. Fuck all of you. Find me a 500-pounder who can do the splits. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Honestly, I think people like relating to us is also beautiful because it's like you're not alone. You're really not.
You're really not, dude.
Never. As much as we think we are, like, because we literally have those moments where we're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? There's no way.
Alien, dude.
I'm an alien. I say that all the time. I'm like, there's no way other people think like me. But then we get to meet people like us.
100%.
Like, okay, I'm a little bit more calm on this planet.